Here we are. Welcome back in. Another episode of Where the Game Lives On, the official podcast of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Day of release, Wednesday, May 15th. Payday, if anybody cares. I know you don't. I do, though.
Yep.
A lot of people care. Byron Shive back in studio in the flesh.
Do I need to introduce myself?
Hi, I'm Byron Shive, Executive Director of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame.
First time, long time.
That's all right. It's busy times around here. I said it last week. A lot of people get into the summertime and they're like, oh, slows down. No, we ramp it up and we get real busy real quick. But we're excited for it. We are. We'll be up in Kansas City next weekend, May 19th.
This weekend. Yep.
This coming weekend. Yes, this coming weekend. 2024 edition of our Kansas City enshrinement, headlined by Tom Watson, who will be the 38th
Missouri sports legend.
Yep.
Long time coming for Tom Watson. Obviously, one of the game's greats, 8-time major winner. He's just deserves his rightful spot on the Legends Walkway. So we look forward to unveiling a bronze bust by 2023 Hall of Fame inductee Harry Weber. And that'll be yet another piece of his work on the Legends Walkway. But looking forward to Sunday.
I'm doubtful Tom Watson will listen to this podcast between now and Sunday. So I'll just say it. Andy North sent in a video for him, and he's from Valhalla, which is where he's won a major himself. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I figured he'd do something like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What have you been up to though? What's going on in your world?
Just busy. You mentioned just the schedule picks up. We were supposed to have been in St. Louis yesterday for a golf tournament. Of course, it's rained every day for the last 2 months, it seems like, which obviously everything's green, but hard to play golf in a pond. And so we postponed the St. Louis golf tournament to July because July wasn't busy enough already. But we'll finish up the Price Cutter Charity Championship on Championship Sundays, July 21st, and we'll head up to Norwood Hills in St. Louis on July 23rd. So unfortunately, can't control the weather, but certainly the schedule's just busy. Got lots of things going on, and but hopefully it works out just fine. It'll be all right. Nobody gets the already busy enough in July joke except us and probably our ropers and stakers guys that listen to this podcast. Anything for Mother's Day? Can you do anything for Jared? Spent the weekend in San Antonio for.
Oh, that's right.
My daughter had a cheer competition down in San Antonio. So
0.
If you hit 0, that's good.
That's 0 mistakes, I guess.
I assume that's what it means. I assume that's what it means, but it's a big deal to hit 0. So
I've always just had kind of a weird, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about sports. Cheerleading's a sport. Gymnastics is a sport, but I've never known. I just feel kind of awkward when it's like judged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that it's really technical.
I know that Misha is sponsoring, or the new sport, high school sport, is going to be stunt.
Yeah.
Which is tumbling. I would call tumbling, I believe, but I believe it's judged, is it not? I think it is.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know.
It's very subjective, of course, but
it's just interesting. So that's a decent Mother's Day gift right there. A little trip.
Yeah, it was. The family went down there. We left. Kids had volleyball and soccer championships. Both brought home hardware for soccer volleyball championships Thursday night. And then we got in the car and drove till McAllister, Oklahoma, spent the night, got up, and went Friday to the silos at Magnolia. Do you have any clue what I'm talking about when I say that?
I have a Magnolia Silos shirt. Okay. I haven't been there myself, but my parents are big fans of the whatever you call that.
Chip and Joanna, I think is.
I was thinking of Shiplap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd never been to Waco. It was not what I was expecting.
Right.
It was of course the silos. You think silo. I think farm, and so I'm thinking countryside. It's right smack dab in the middle of downtown, pretty much.
Really?
Right next to the Baylor campus, which was cool. Didn't get a chance to tour it, but the Texas Sports Hall of Fame is located right. I don't know if it's on campus at Baylor, but if it's not on campus, it's right next to it. But
in Waco, cool.
Yeah, drove into the parking lot. It was a neat building. I look forward to someday getting back down there. It was They had a lot of the. I know from doing some research that the Texas Sports Hall of Fame is, whereas here in Missouri we induct the Tom Watsons and Eric Hosmer, the professional athletes that people know across the country. But of course, what I love about our Hall of Fame is, as Bernie Miklasz so eloquently put it in St. Louis last year, it's the Hall of Fame of the little guy. It's not just
the People's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's what he said. The People's Hall of Fame. And so we're inducting the high school coaches and the sports writers, things like that. But the Texas one is more the professional, the people you're going to have heard of. And so on the outside of the building, it had a lot of murals of people you would expect from the state of Texas. But it was the building was smaller than ours, but it was a decent size. I'd love to go down and
very cool
and tour it sometime. From my research, I know that it's comparable. There's very few in the country that are comparable to us, and this is obviously our podcast. I can say what I want, but I believe we have the best sports Hall of Fame based on my research. I had always heard that, but just in what we're doing, who we're honoring, we're the best.
Yeah.
Eventually, we will also have the best museum, but I believe in my research that Texas was up there. So
really,
anyway, that was interesting.
I follow them on social media.
So, but
try to see what they're doing.
That was kind of cool to see that. So I'd love to go down there and see that again. But we went to the silos at Magnolia, which was not what I was expecting. I didn't know what to expect, but it was kind of a neat little area. And then we headed on down to San Antonio. I'd been to San Antonio on a golf trip years ago, but it was strictly hotel, golf course, hotel, golf course. So,
you went down on the Riverwalk.
Got to see the Riverwalk. That was kind of cool. So it was just lots of makeup and glitter and hair,
is that how it
fake hair pieces. And
I've been down to San Antonio twice. It's neat. Did you go to Alamo too?
My son and I walked over there. We didn't tour it, go inside. We walked around the grounds, and once again, right in the middle of downtown. Didn't know what to expect, but I didn't realize it was literally right there in downtown.
It would have been 2018 on my way down to Corpus Christi, actually, for a baseball weekend series.
That's a long haul.
For opener, it was the season opener. You always go south, try and find somebody, and we went south, and then it was terrible weather.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the worst traffic in the history of the world is from Dallas to San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
And the number one reason, and this is my number one pet peeve in life, is keep right except to pass. Everybody had a Texas license plate just cruising out there in the fast lane, just slowing up traffic.
Yeah, I got family down there in
Dallas.
So
awful.
I don't know how they do it.
It was literally stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, and it was awful. And we thought, because we left Sunday afternoon, mid-afternoon, you're thinking, okay, well, there's nobody out for work, so this is going to be, nope. It was just as bad coming north as it was going south.
Oh, it is. I got a cousin who he lives down there. He's got a Tesla with the automatic, autonomous driving, and he's like, I just
let it do what
let it do what it does. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Springfield traffic is bad sometimes.
Speaking of that, we were out in Phoenix for the Final Four a month ago, whatever, and I can't remember what started with a W, but there's a service of driverless taxis. It's like Wablo or something, or Weeblo.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the name is.
And it looked weird because it looked like a storm chaser. Because it had all the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, on the top. Yeah.
And literally, you just get in the back seat and this thing drives you. There's no one. It was super weird, but they were all over the place in Phoenix.
I could be mispronouncing it. Waymo.
Yeah.
Waymo.
Yep, that's what it was.
Isn't that weird?
They were everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the future, and I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Yeah, you get in the back seat of a vehicle, and there's nobody in the front,
driving.
And you're just getting somewhere.
I stood there and watched it. It pulled up to an intersection. It was making a left-hand turn, and it sat there, and it did exactly like a car's supposed to do, but it was just...
We're living in the future a little bit.
It is crazy. But
did you see the Cybertruck in our parking lot?
I've seen them before. I didn't see it in the parking lot, no.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen a few in Springfield, and I'm just assuming that they're like the first batch of them are getting delivered. Anything and everything happens in our parking lot, so I'm not surprised that a Cybertruck wound up in our parking lot.
Now, are those self-driving as well?
I don't know.
Are they Tesla?
They are Tesla, so I'm sure that you can pay for the service.
Gotcha.
But the thing that was interesting to me, aside from just the weird shape of it, just very minimal, but like rectangular steering wheel.
Oh, wow.
Rectangular. So I'm like, what? You got to use two hands?
That's weird.
You can't use one. right? Because it's not
That's
rounded. Yeah. So, but I assume somebody over here in Highland Springs had a delivery.
Yeah, it's weird because it's not. When I think truck, it's got a bed on it that I can haul stuff with, but
This thing has a bed.
it's just covered.
But it's like it's a flat bed with a slanted body, and it's got a cover that has to come back for you to access it. It's more like, it seems more like a trunk to me. Really big trunk.
Wow.
I don't know what the
Future is crazy.
I don't know what the MSRP is. I think at retail it's like 220,000 maybe.
Yeah, I will not be getting one of those.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sorry, Elon.
Well, and he's like, "Oh, no. I right here Google says no. Google says 80 something thousand."
Well, I'll tell you what.
Where did
I'll
I see
sell you
220?
mine. I'm going to go buy one and I'll sell it to you for 150. How's that sound? What a deal.
I don't know where I saw that. I thought I saw somewhere where it was like insane, like crazy.
Yeah, call our friends over at Reliable Superstore because you're a mark, and we'll send you a. Hey, we got this brand new Toyota Tundra for you. Just 140,000, Noah, just for you. What a deal.
All right, we'll get into some sports news before I just get berated more. Missouri State University recently announced on Monday officially they're joining Conference USA, CUSA, whatever you want to call it, full league member effective July 1, 2025. Football is king. Football drives all moves in college athletics. And this is yet another example. What do you make of it?
I had heard, I was surprised as most people. I had heard, rumors or whatever, but it wasn't of CUSA that they were looking at joining. Well, to be honest with you, I heard that they were even exploring like the Big 12 at one point.
Wow.
I mean, that's obviously a rumor, just a crazy gossip, but
swallow that one real quick.
But yeah, you're right. Football. And the thing is you can go back 2 or 3 years, whenever Oregon and Washington left the Pac-12 or whatever it's called now to go to the Big 10, and then the dominoes start falling.
Yeah.
And this is literally one of those dominoes.
Just way down the line.
It's just way down the line.
Yeah.
Football is the driving force for, even though I think it's fair to say that Missouri State's probably traditionally been considered a basketball school. I think it doesn't matter. Football is what pays the bills at most places that have a football program. And so by going it's funny to hear the older folks refer to it as Division I, it's FCS, which
FBS,
is Football Championship Series, because they actually have a tournament at that level, to FBS, Football Bowl Subdivision, I think it's what it refers to. But by going to that, obviously they become eligible for bowls. But the thing is Missouri State would go play Oklahoma State. They'd go play, these bigger schools, buy games essentially is what they are. They get paid to go, for the most part, get beat but they make money.
Which they have, though, too, in recent years.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But by going to FBS, they can actually command a higher fee, up to $1 million to go play a bigger school.
Yeah.
And so that's a plus. TV contracts. I mean, we don't think about, Missouri State's not playing on TV now, at least, but CUSA has a national contract, and you're not turning on, CBS Game of the Week at 2:30 on a Saturday, but they have a TV contract. They have media rights.
Yeah. They'll be playing a lot of Thursday, Friday night games.
So that's I think I saw somewhere like another $5 million a year in media stuff, just not counting the buy games. And so certainly a money thing. I think they get some additional scholarships that they can award. So big thing is and I was actually reading this morning that the commitment is there. The stadium, Plaster Stadium, is not FBS level, and so people in Springfield are going to start seeing some construction there in the next few years, I would imagine. But to kind of elevate that to a larger, you're going to be adding suites, because most likely the folks that are going to be paying for this are going to suites and different things like that. But it's exciting. Obviously, I think Missouri State had been in the Valley, the Missouri Valley Conference, since like 1990. So you're looking at a 35-year run in that conference. You have all the traditional rivals and things, but it's the times they are changing, I think, is how the saying goes. So
I will admittedly say that, yes, I was surprised and genuinely think it's a good move.
Mhm.
Genuinely, it is a time of transition at Missouri State. You've got a new president coming in,
Yep.
new basketball coach in boys basketball.
Mhm.
You've got a however many year baseball coach who is
He's
on his
retired
way out.
last year.
Still fairly new women's basketball coach, still early into the Beard era in
Mhm.
football. So it makes a lot of sense. That being said, football is king. And I think you look at other sports and it's going to be an adjustment. I really, really think the level of competition overall that they're going to be playing in that conference will be pretty comparable to what was arguably the best FCS conference. It's not even arguable. It is the best FCS conference they were playing
in football,
in terms of
without question,
playing San Diego State and several of those teams up north who are competitive
South Dakota State.
What did I say?
San Diego. State. Well, I mean,
South Dakota
when you look
State,
at FCS, the rankings, and I don't know how or why this is, but the North Dakota and South Dakota schools are always up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, winning national championships year in and year out.
Yeah.
And then that didn't even count like Northern Iowa, who's traditionally good. You've got Western Illinois has had good seasons, and then in basketball, it's just football's king. I mean, it's going to.
But it makes sense geographically too, which is surprising in this era of college athletics. If you look at everybody in that conference, every school is public with the exception of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
They're all it's a pretty much Southern conference with the exception of Delaware, who was one of those newer additions
coming in. Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody else is literally, it's like a second tier SEC essentially. So it's going to help them with travel.
Liberty, Delaware, Florida International, which I think is down in the Miami area.
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee State. That's old OVC Austin P days back in that's Murfreesboro, Tennessee, just the other side of Nashville. New Mexico State, San Las Cruces, Bowling Green, Kentucky. You got Western Kentucky there. UTEP, which is been in the CUSA forever.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana Tech, Kennesaw State, which is Atlanta area,
Georgia. Yeah, I think so.
And then Sam Houston State in Texas, and then Jacksonville State, which is actually in Alabama. But I saw somewhere that the anticipated. Everybody's the travel, and it was going to be like $5 million more estimated expenses by making the move. And of course, we've already mentioned the $5 million in media rights, not to mention the additional money they can make from buy games. And so the term, I guess, is net neutral. They don't anticipate making or losing more or less, essentially.
I think they're like, what could be that break is like if you make a bowl game.
Yeah.
You mess around and make a bowl game. Yeah. Which you get 6 wins, you're eligible.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing is they get to share in revenue when if I'm not mistaken, other teams make bowl games. I don't know what the conference sharing is on that, but a lot of times in other conferences, the more teams you send to bowls, there's like a big pool of money that gets divvied up. That's why, So.
Yeah, I don't know the Conference USA like the back of my hand. Several of those schools that you mentioned, I think, have been in there for a while, but it's had some turnover too, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, because that's when the dominoes fall. You got teams. Well, just think about the teams that used to be in CUSA. Not that long ago. University of Miami, like the Hurricanes, they were a Conference USA football team. Until they joined the ACC.
Yeah. Was Houston?
Houston was in CUSA. I mean, they were in the Final Four last year. They were a number 1 seed this year in basketball. They were in CUSA not too long ago. Memphis was in CUSA. So it's a not I won't call it a stepping stone, but I'm not saying that Missouri State's on their way to the SEC in 10 years, but I'm just saying this is a step up.
A step up, and
so
I think and it'll be basketball. It'll be a big adjustment. It will.
And that's a good question because obviously we mentioned basketball school and people and I think Kyle Moats, the athletic director at Missouri State, said this in the press conference is, listen, people aren't going to care if we make the tournament. It doesn't matter if we made the tournament from the Missouri Valley Conference or CUSA or wherever. People just want to go to the tournament. Obviously, it's been a while since Missouri State made the tournament.
On the men's side,
On the men's side. And so, you're looking at the schools and you're competing against, Creighton at one point. They've moved on to the, stepped up to the Big East, but, Drake, you've got Northern Iowa, you got all of these, Indiana State this year. You're competing against these teams that are consistently battling, to go to the tournament.
Yeah.
And Missouri Valley Conference was a multi-bid league year in and year out. Whereas now you're moving to the CUSA, and I think they've been a one big lead for, the last several years. It's been a while since they sent multiple teams, but I'm looking at the roster of teams. Why can't Missouri State compete in this league in basketball? Why can't they go to the tournament, right out of the gate? Maybe not year one, but I think, Conzo Martin's going to get his guys and compete.
Well, whenever you make a jump to a conference, you're still going to have some guys that are, for lack of better terms, an FCS level player.
Sure.
You're going to start attracting different levels of players over time because they know they're going to be playing on TV a lot more, and they're going to be.
Obviously, Mizzou is FBS. Is Lindenwood? Are they still FCS, or did they make the move recently to go? I
think they're 1AA.
So they FCS,
and I don't even know if I don't even think they have football.
Lindenwood does.
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, so they're Division I in basketball, and they're just a mid-major basketball school. But
they joined the OVC, Ohio Valley Conference, and I assume every sport, but I don't know. I know in basketball they are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My point being is Missouri State now the second FBS program in the state after Mizzou? I mean, Mizzou's FBS, of course, but is now Missouri State the only other FBS program?
Might be. Lindenwood football is a member of the Ohio Valley Conference.
Ohio in football,
which is FCS.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're the second FBS level. Football.
So my point being, I mean, kids want to play. I guess what I'm saying is long way to say lock down the local talent. I mean, there's football players that are leaving the area that want to play FBS football, and now they get a chance right here in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's exciting. I mean, it's you want to see where it goes.
Absolutely. Did you see the deal Jared Goff got?
No.
Oh my goodness. On Monday it was announced 4-year, $212 million, largest in franchise history.
That's Detroit.
Yeah. Got sent away from Los Angeles. They win a Super Bowl.
He was the kind of like the forgotten, like you kind of felt sorry for him whenever they traded because
they got Stafford.
They just Jared, we're done with you.
Yeah,
and bring in Matt Stafford. But I mean, I remember talking about, oh my gosh, he went to Detroit. I mean, no one's going to remember who he is, and they've turned that. I mean, of course, they've got an excellent coach. They're on the rise.
They were in the
they are the NFC Championship game this year.
Yeah,
they are on the rise, and he's found a home there. So good for him. 212. 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. I don't know how much of it was guaranteed, but
that's like 50 plus a year.
Yeah. Well, and they also paid Amon-Ra. He's one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league.
Wow.
Now,
I mean, like I said, they're on the rise.
Do you get all like excited for the schedule? The NFL schedule release. That's day of release.
Like I'm still. When is it coming out? It's like soon.
The 15th, May 15th, day of release. It's today.
It'll be tonight. Okay, so
no, we don't know it yet, but we'll see it
because the like I don't watch, like I'm not like off season. I'm not watching the draft. I'm not watching the whatever. I do like the to see. I mean, who everybody knows who their team is playing, their opponents.
Yeah,
just a matter of when and where and the order. I know that like the Chiefs has been announced that they're going to open the season as the traditional Super Bowl champion does, hosting Baltimore on that Thursday night. I do know that because that's been released.
And they have Bengals week 2.
Oh, wow.
So they play
Burrow's back.
Yeah, Burrow will be back.
I do like I think it was the Titans last year, that like their schedule release video. That's what I get into.
Yes.
Is there's some teams around the league that have really talented.
That's where I was.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to have to have a competent social media director, but sorry, just kidding. No, but there's some. Last year, the Titans went down to Broadway and they interviewed. They released their and they would show the logo and get people's responses as to what's this team's name, and they would just random, and then they would. That was one of the best.
Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
The Dallas Stars.
And then they had like that music playing. That was like the best schedule release video. But I do like seeing those in the next few days.
No,
but,
that's exactly where I was going with it. From like a digital content perspective, is it's kind of like the media teams for these organizations. It's like their Super Bowl.
It's their
They're
Super
like,
Bowl,
we get to be creative here and do something funny because it's the off season.
Because I mean, that's the standard was set last year. Now everybody wants to.
It'll probably be wild. They're just seeing everybody come up with whatever it's going to be.
And then there's some that tried a little too hard, and I'm not sure what that was. But so.
What'd you make of Rory? Did you see he got a big win this past weekend?
No, I did not. I was too busy at a cheer competition. So,
well, back here at the Masters, I was talking garbage about how he can't win at all anymore, and he looked pretty good. He pulled away on Sunday on the back nine at the Wells Fargo and ended up winning it. So
heading into Valhalla this weekend, the PGA, then is he?
And he's 9-10 years drought. He hasn't won a major 9 or 10 years. So, of course, everybody talked about the Grand Slam for him, but even if he were to return to win another major, that would be a big deal for him.
Yeah.
So
he's kind of like I don't know. I don't dislike Rory. I'm not a Rory fan.
Yeah.
Like, and this is probably unpopular with all the live stuff, but I was always Phil Mickelson fan. So if I'm rooting for something, I'm rooting for Phil to win a U.S. Open to create the career Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Complete it. But that's never going to happen. So
how old is he? He's up there.
He's
now.
like early 50s, 53, 54, probably somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
So,
when are you eligible for the seniors tour?
50.
Which I guess if he's on live though, I mean
he won some Champions Tour events.
Really?
Yeah. Once you hit 50, you're eligible. So, yeah.
I don't know. Golf's in such a weird place right now.
It's
with all that.
I do feel sorry for Rory you talk about backing a bus over somebody. I mean, he was the spokesperson for PGA Tour and standing up, and I'm staying here, and this is where Goff and all that. And then they pulled the rug out from under him with the whole backroom deals with Live and PGA and this PP whatever it is alliance, and he just. I mean, I would be ticked if I was Rory. So
I don't get all that. Like the live guys can just play in the majors.
I don't know. I just know that what I'm getting at is that it was live versus PGA Tour.
Yeah, it was.
And Rory was kind of the public spokesperson for PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was announced that the PGA Tour and it wasn't live, but it's who's backing live.
Yeah.
The Saudis, whatever.
This oil company
had this backroom deal of a merger, and Rory, I mean, you could tell that he was caught. I mean, one of my favorite that on Netflix is Swing Right. Is
Full Swing.
Full Swing.
Swing Right.
I don't know.
That's a shout out Swing Right, sponsor of the Price Cutter
Charity Championship.
Swing Right. They bring their car out. They're open 364 days a year.
Full Swing. Excellent. I love that show.
There's a new season coming out here soon. I'm not sure when it is, but
it's great. Talking about getting behind the scenes and stuff. That's an excellent show. But anyway, he's felt sorry for him on that. But
it's out now. Season 2 came out March 6th.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it.
Half of it. Yeah.
I need to watch it.
Good.
I've been watching Ted Lasso.
It's so good.
You've seen Ted Lasso?
It's the same with every show. Like if it's multi-seasons,
yeah.
Ted Lasso is an outstanding show.
Yeah.
I've not finished it because I don't ever finish a show.
I got tired of people saying like, you got to watch it. So I just watched it.
The best, I don't know if you've gotten to it. Have you seen the dart scene yet?
The what?
Where he plays darts.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the best scenes in TV history, man.
Where he basically just
if they were curious,
he sandbagged him, yeah.
They would have asked. You played a lot of darts, Ted? Yes, I have. Barbecue sauce.
I'm still working through it. I think I'm almost done with season 2, maybe. I get crazy with some of that stuff.
I'll go on a binge. I'll watch 5 or 6 episodes, get through season 1 to Succession, another one. It's supposed to be one of the best shows out there. There's like 4 seasons, and I'm like 2 seasons and a couple episodes in.
Really?
And everyone's like, "Oh, it's the greatest." And I'm like, I mean, not yet, but that's like, you got to keep
Is that
going. You got to keep
HBO?
going. I think so.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be incredible, but I can't finish. I just haven't finished it.
My brother's always on me. Like, we go back and forth about good shows and stuff. He's like, you still haven't even watched The Sopranos. Like, I need to watch The
I
Sopranos.
still haven't seen The
Well,
Sopranos.
it's like 9 seasons or something like that.
A long time.
So,
I mean, yeah. The Wire.
I
think was it last time I was on here, like 8 years ago. We were talking about DVDs. In my collection that I talked about, I've got the full seasons
You never watched
of The
it?
Wire because it's supposed to be the greatest show in TV history, or one of them, and haven't watched a single episode. It's sitting there, probably still in the wrapping.
You've got the complete box set
of The Wire.
We don't even talk
I
about
have the
those
complete
anymore.
box set of Friday Night Lights, of Entourage. Then another great
Entourage,
show.
yeah.
Friday Night Lights, I love that show.
What's your
The
top?
OC, I have the full.
Yeah.
That's my wife's, but I'm not no shame. I love the OC. It's an excellent show.
What's your top? What's your like favorite like TV show of all time?
I mean, I loved Friday Night Lights. I also love. I don't know. I mean, The Office is. I used to say Seinfeld's the best sitcom ever, but The Office is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Seinfeld like took the world by storm in the 90s.
It was huge. Like, I liked Seinfeld better than Friends, but The Office is just, it's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
So you like the comedies? You like the
I
situation?
like comedies, but the OC was good.
Really?
I mean, my wife and I watched it when we were dating, and it's just funny. It's just and it's kind of funny now because now my daughter is like obsessed with Outer Banks, and it's kind of like the new OC.
A little bit, yeah.
It's like
the new age, yeah.
And then there was Gossip Girl. My wife made me watch that, so I got hooked on Gossip Girl. Blake Lively, and
Nice.
Yeah, so that was
It's either
XOXO Gossip Girl.
It's either Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones.
And see another
for
one.
me.
Both of those.
Yeah.
I've seen more than half of them and have
Yeah.
not finished them.
Yeah.
But I've heard Breaking Bad is the best show out there. And it was what I saw was
Two
outstanding.
different shows. Breaking Bad just continued to get better the whole way
See,
out.
the problem is my wife and I'll start watching shows together,
Yeah.
as bonding or whatever. And we'll watch, there'll be a couple, like I remember Game of Thrones setting up, kids are in bed. We're okay. Well, we'll just watch one more episode. Oh, well, we'll just watch one more. And now it's 1:30 in the morning. Oh man, I can't go to bed on that. We got to watch one more.
Oh, geez.
So you binge watch for 2 or 3 nights, and then the first day that I'm gone or something, she'll watch 7 episodes by herself, and I'm like, well, I'm not jumping ahead, so we're done. So that's what happened with Game of Thrones. Breaking Bad, I watched on my own. I just haven't finished it. So.
It's good. I would probably say that one's my number one.
I've heard it's incredible.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, if you end it, then you can go back and watch Better Call Saul too.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. As an attorney, I want to.
You would
get Breaking Bad done so I can go watch Better Call Saul. But
got to catch up.
Yeah,
got to catch up.
Well, I've got a flight coming up here in not too long. Maybe I'll just download some episodes and get back into it.
Sounds like a plan. We've reached the end of our time, though. We've actually gone over today. Look at that.
Wow.
When there's so much catching up to do, because, you're not here for years on end.
I've been looking for a good social media coordinator.
Got you. If you've made it this far in the episode, we appreciate you. Make sure you leave a like, drop a review, share it with your friends.
That's what we should do. We should do like a schedule release of the Hall of Fame events. You should be working on that. That'll be your Super Bowl.
All right. Sounds good. We have new episodes every Wednesday, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow us on social media. Stay up to date with everything going on at the Hall of Fame, and we'll see you next time, Byron.
We'll see you next week.